Hi everyone, welcome to our webinar, Coordination Abilities Specific for Soccer, presented by Paolo Bonomo. My name is David Robertson, NorCal Coach Education Coordinator, and it's my privilege to host and moderate this webinar. Those of you who've been on this before know the format by now. Some of you, it may be your first one. We'll use the Q&A for questions, which I'll moderate and ask them at the right moment in the presentation. Feel free to ask your questions there. We are recording it, the presentation and the PowerPoint presentation that Paolo goes through will be available and sent to everyone tomorrow, as will any of the videos that Paolo presents. Again, everyone's automatically on mute, video's turned off, and that's the way it remains throughout the presentation. But again, please use the Q&A for any questions that you feel are relevant. So without much further ado, Paolo Bonomo.
Thank you, David. Hello, everyone. Thanks for coming. Very exciting to present this topic to all of you, and I hope then I will satisfy and you find your time spent worth it. I want to dip into it right away because I want to cover as much as possible and trying to give you as best as my ability is some just a few and clear messages and concept. So we are talking about coordination ability specific for soccer, and I will cover that specific for soccer, the reason why. Please feel free to ask question anytime. I might answer right away, or maybe we address when either the slide or video or the area of presentation is finished. We are, I believe, in COVID-19 day. I don't know if it's 31, 35, or maybe 40. I lost the sense of time. And I was thinking to be here with a bottle of beer open and say, after the presentation, let's all cheer. But then I thought, what if some minor are attending this? I might be in trouble. So let's do also that virtually after the presentation. So let's start. If you let me. So here is obviously, for those that have already been in other seminar, they've seen this slide, is the foundation of soccer. The game is always that's where we all refer to. The game, what the game need to be played beside all the logistic, also the quality in the game for the player to play the game. So the player has also the 4 area to develop, and tonight we focus in the physical area, which is one of the allowed to play the game, correct? And last week, or actually maybe a little bit more than a week ago, you see, I lost the sense of time. I presented the psychomotor, and tonight we cover the coordination. Psychomotor is very, I would say, go hand in hand with the coordination. Just to refresh, the psychomotor are the knowledge of the body, the knowledge of the environment, the space and time, and you will see how important this is connected to the ability, the coordination ability specific for soccer. So coordination ability specific for soccer, control of a movement and mental decision in a training environment. So I will go over this, and then I will, hopefully we have enough time. I'm planning to have at least half of this seminar that we go and apply to on the field for you coaches. When we're thinking about coordination ability, the general wisdom or the common, and when we talk coordination, is thinking more the physical aspect like arm and leg, you know, left leg, right arm, and things like that. Well, there is one type of coordination, okay, which is you will see later. I don't go deep in that one at all tonight, but tonight we cover the coordination, which you can almost say they are quality of a player needed to develop to play the game at the best way possible. So we will cover what control the movement and the decision, movement, the body and the decision, when those are developed the best, the age, obviously, which are those coordination abilities specific for soccer. So we'll go one by one. I will show you short video for each one. Why do we train them? And how do we train them? And then what type of exercises? So let's start. Again, all this material that is presented tonight is thanks to this gentleman that probably a lot of you knows or heard about it. It's Professor Vergine. Considered, in my opinion, definitely one of the top in Italy, if not in Europe. There is that. So when we came across and he presented to us for the first time, and I remember going to Florence with Benjamin, Sean, and I believe was Carl Edwards, and they presented to us. For me, it was an eye-opener. And it made a lot of sense. And since then, all my training, when I had a chance, I incorporated. And we also introduced it to a lot of you and a lot of other coaches that tonight in NorCal that tonight have now attended this webinar. So control of the movement, and there is I'm saying this just to make you understand a little bit the surface and the scientific reason behind. So then when you connect everything, that will make a lot of sense of what I say. The reflex activity of dealing with we have all sensor inside our muscle and tendon, that we have a receptor. So even external, that we go the external, internal, and that is what create the reflex activity. This is going to go to the eye center of brain, which is the nervous system that we all have. And in there are two impulses. From there, it gives the impulse to do whatever movement you want to do. You want to walk, you want to raise your arm, or you want to kick the ball, or you want to sit. When we deal with the cerebral, which is the frontier of your head, is more in a conscious way. So at the beginning, when you're learning something, that's where you operate. So it's a lower speed, and you need to think about it because it's new, it's introduced. And the more that you do it, then you will move in what is called cerebellum, which is positioned more in the back and operate at a much higher speed. So remember this, lower speed, higher speed. Okay, in reference to the game that I started at the beginning, in which we can call it unconsciously, or we call second nature, or sometimes we say, oh, the muscle memory muscle, or muscle memory. Sorry, my mixed up. I'm still too much Italian. So keep in mind this, which later when we connect everything together, it will make a lot more sense. Then while we give this impulse to, how do we get this impulse to the brain, and then the brain, so they are internally and externally. Okay, without going too much in detail, the kinesthetic are more connected to the muscle and tendon. The static dynamic deal more with your balance, with the posture. When we deal with the external, is the touch, tactile, the optical, vision, and the acoustic as a command, okay? I leave all these slides for you because I know that this is, you can download it. If you are interested going deep into these receptors, you can check, sorry about that. A little water will help. Then you can go a little bit more deep for your interest. But for the purpose of this webinar, as I said, I want to spend more time on what is really practical and usage for us as a coach when we go on the field. When do we develop this? As you can see, there is a little bit of a, you know, with the psychomotor, there is a little bit of a interaction. They start becoming important, and the psychomotor is at 9, 10 years old. And then they're very, very important in the 11 to 14 years old. And that depends, obviously, the biological age, maturation, so it can vary a year or two. Or boys and girls can vary as well. Female has a tendency to mature a little earlier, okay? So in here is actually, in this age, you know that there is some growth spur that, you know, a person can grow several inches. So in that phase, he might be pretty good in the coordination, then he's going to lose it. And not only coordination, like I said, arm and legs, which we call segmental or the limbs, but also mentally, also the thinking. And so you need to know that, because then there is a catch up for that. So even in that period, we need to address it even more. And then they continue even at a lower age. I mean, when they get older, higher age. So, as I said, this is pretty much summarize what I just explained. The information I received from different receptors, internal, external, and a fraction later, and analyze the process by the brain center, promote the response of the movement. In such a movement are expression of the organization and the control. So generally they've been divided in 7 abilities. We call it abilities. But for this purpose here in Fiorentina, at that time with the Professor Vergi, introduced also 9, because 2 of them, besides being coordination ability, are also speed. And you will recognize it soon. What are they? Here they are. We have combining 2 moves, and we go in each one. So you can see the 9 ability. Don't worry that you gotta memorize this right now. We will go one by one. But what I wanna put your attention in here, for us as we are coaches, is the receptor, which, remember, they are internal and external. We have 9 coordination ability. Out of the 9 coordination ability, 5 are a mix. They have internal, external. 1 are only internal. Okay, so only the sensor touch the muscle and the tendon, and the balance, which is the static and dynamic. The other 3 are only external. In all 9, optical, which is vision, are present in 8 of them. is the most important receptor, not the other, no, in all these scheme, in all these pictures here. Okay, so now I show you this so you can reference later. Before I go to each video, the video tonight are very short, just quick to give you a quick idea. You want to see the video much longer with more exercise, more in depth, and the same exercise repeated longer and everything. You go to the website of NorCal, and through that you will click coach right here from the front page, which takes you to the page of coach library resources. Scrolling down, you will see here Fiorentina course and video. You click watch videos. You input the password NorCal/Fiorentina, and you scroll down, and here with the technical ability, you have the technical video and also the coordination video. Okay, so for those that want to follow up later, this is what you can see, more and longer video. Let's start with each one quicker. Do we have any questions so far, David? Or I can tackle this?
No questions so far.
Very good. I guess I either confused you very much, or maybe I was very, very clear. Okay, what is combining to move? Basically is connecting a cyclic and acyclic. What that means? Cyclic is when you're running, when you're walking, that's a movement. And acyclic is a single gesture, like if you throw, if you kick, if you jump. So I think it's a quality that a soccer player need to have. Is related to. So here you can have it with different, and you will see a lot of this video with a different size of ball because they combine also some other coordination ability at the same time. This is quite a challenge. Here is when they dribble, they bounce it. So two things. Here is a little bit more complex. You have some acrobatic, some articular mobility or stretch the joint, and two moves. Here jumping over there. Here passing two ball, passing and receiving, juggling two balls. So you can see, you can get the idea. Next one. The ability of space and time orientation. So being aware of the position, which is a space, and the traveling time. Your own, the team, the opponent, the ball, and etc. So this is very much, and this is what is only involved with the external reception. So for me, this ability is only cognitive, but is coordinative. So is dealing only with, not with the internal sensor. Here, a little exercise. You can see, keep it away. Then a coach command, they got around to find an open. Here, this one, let me stop a second. So the two outside players need to throw the ball and pass and throw the ball at the same time. The two inside players need to go to the right place. And at some point, they will switch and restart with hopefully no. If I'm addressing a little bit on the shooting, this will be more appropriate, finding the ball before it's there, and tackling, simple finding the ball at the same time and trying to go and whatever. If you do guiding the ball, you can have two players at the same time, the same cones, and go. Ability of a differentiation. What is differentiation? Basically, in other words, is the touch. So is a dosage of the intensity of a muscular effort as needed. So you give an impulse to your muscle and tendon, how strong you want to kick the ball, you want to pass, or you want to dribble with the touch. Here you can do a touch. You don't need a string. You can do below the knee, above the knee. You can use also different balls. You will see here is a combination of two moves because you need to jump over or go under. So it's a combination of you can train multiple coordination at the same time. Here, another example, dribbling with different balls to improve your touch. Here again, similar. Here, you can see different, here you can see different distance of the cones. In the right lane, are training more of the shoelaces. The left cones are training more the inside or outside of your foot, the cat, basically. Sorry, ooh, why did you do that? Let me go back in there. And here we go. You can see every cone is attached, different distance. Here also, obviously, a little problem in there. This doing a little better, longer touch, attack, shoulder, and go. Here, different size of ball. And again. Reaction. Reaction is always a response to a visual or audio or tactile. So to whatever is the situation, you respond. So you can start a 1v1 by player need to react either a command or the sound of the ball when it's coming or the bounce and go. Here, the player, when you run outside, the other gonna react and run to the corner as well. So they need to react to the player with the bibs. Not to, no. Here you have a two organization. The coach give a command or a visual, and the player go either to the right organization or to the left organization on the command of the coach. Here, three lines with the player in the middle, changing the line, and the other need to, so it's also more than one combination near you. So it's a combo, reaction plus also adapt and transform, which you will see later. Balance basically is maintain and regain either in a static. We have two types of balance. One is static and one is dynamic in all situations of the game. So first we're going to see some static example, which are good, for example, for dribbling. I mean, for juggling, sorry. If you cover your eyes, it's going to be even more internal and here is more dynamic. After a run, standing on the ball. Here you stop, tack, nice balance. The posture, you can see that some of these kids need to work on it. Here with one foot, and so on. Here is on a unstable surface, which is a little more difficult. And there is also, without going, is also working on the proprioception, dealing with the joint as well. Adapt and transform. This is again another coordination ability that's only external receptor, which is dealing with cognitive, is a cognitive. And for me, I associate it more to what I call a tactical coordination ability, because it's a movement that you started and you change it due to a change in the situation in the game. So for example, if I'm dribbling into space and all of a sudden one or two defenders comes on, maybe I stop dribbling and I got to pass. If a goalkeeper is and on the line, defending the line, I might take a shot, but if he comes out, if there is a 1v1, it's another situation. I might maybe have enough room to chip over. So things like that. Okay. So we have a few exercises in here. Here the game, just the ball himself create that condition. They play a regular game, keep it away with a rugby ball. Shooting, dribbling, try to go and don't get hit by the ball. Not bad. Here is another little game that we will cover later on. We call it prisoner game, dealing with the sharks or defender. Here, after they score, they gotta cross the gate, open gate with player that come on the side, and you don't know if where they come or that. So rhythm is the ability is only cyclical. So is when you running, when you walking, when you go dancing in the disco. And basically is what they call a little bit a raise performance and they economize the movement. So it's an economical ability where it deal more with the contraction and relaxation or decontraction of the muscle. So how do we train this? You can say 1, 2, 1, 2, or you can say 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. So different, but with the same tempo. Also, rhythm is two type. When there is a rhythm, when you juggle, you have equal rhythm on both feet. 1, 2, 1, 2, or you might do 1, 2, 1, 1, 2, 1, 1, 2, 1. In dribbling, or when you, in dribbling, you have is different. The front foot, where the ball, well, not the front foot, but the foot is in contact with the ball as one rhythm, and the other foot as his own rhythm. As you can see here, this exercise, even without the ball, You can see the front foot has one rhythm, but the other has shoulder and different. This can be trained also in zigzag, and you will see later when I go a little deeper in the detail. 1, 2, 1, 2, and go. Here you can see a better, a higher level, and you can see they combine. When they are proficient, they combine with other, like here, differentiation. So they combine more than one ability. Anticipation.
Paolo, that answers a question that was posed, so thank you. That was one of the questions. I thought you would cover that. Thanks.
Oh, sorry. So the anticipation is the ability is based on knowledge of the previous memorized experience. So is through experience that you will know that, hey, for example, if I'm a defender, based on my distance to the attacker, can I step in and win the ball, or I better not because I'm too far? So this is based on experience and is a judgment as well. So here you get some example on a 1v1. Who is going to be the attacker? The one that finished the first exercise first, and the other is better go and defend. Otherwise, if you try to go and you steal the ball, you might. Here is a tag. Recognize that, hey, who can I tag? Is it close enough? Can I make a prisoner or whatever are the conditions? Here, five player with 4 rings, and a command, one is going to be out. And here is trying to tackle it. Motor imagination. So what we call creativity is basically an original creative way to solve a technical or tactical situation. If you put any exercise, is a freedom of thinking, and training sometimes this, especially at a young age, is very, very worth it, because you will see that when you put a simple exercise, thinkers. And that's where the creativity will start. So let's see, couple. Here is somebody throwing the ball, and you're gonna score whatever you want. It can be volley, it can be headed, it can be whatever you want. Or you can put a circle like here, give the freedom, and once they get in front of the goal, they get up the ball and score the way you want. That just so is total freedom. Okay. Any question here, David, before I go forward?
One question that came in was, through this methodology, how do you measure or test? Is there a way to test the coordination, whether there's been an improvement?
Yes, there is a way of testing. There are some video posted on the website that you can measure fairly objectively the improvement of a player in the coordination ability. So I will encourage that whoever is interested, they can watch that video of testing. And if they have any questions, they can send email, and I'll be happy to respond. So this slide, we have the technical ability on the left, and on the right is the three most dominant coordination ability present when you juggle or when you pass and receive, when you're running, and so on. But keep in mind that your coordination abilities are always present when you play the game or whatever you do. They're all there, all nine. Okay? So, yes, it is important to know the most important trios, important to know which one are there. But what is a lot more important, and now that is the second part of this webinar, is to incorporate in your training to help your player, and I will go and jump in this. Why do we train? And then I go back to the other one, because is a player quality, as I said, needed in the game. When you break it down in isolation, allow increase of repetition and also focus on that particular one or more ability. And by doing that, you accelerate the learning curve of that particular ability or abilities. So that when you go to the next level, which is the highest level of in the game, is the 11v11, and there you can scale down to a 4v4 or 2v2 game. Those are, a higher level of complexity and more difficult to learn or to, comprehend. So breaking it down is that. So here, this is basically the pyramid with the game always as the top. And you can see the coordination, which is in the physical part. We have the tactical, personality, tactical, technical. The physical part, they support the technical ability, as you saw, but it should have say also they support the tactical ability. Okay, so obviously they are all connected, but is a strong influence in that. As like, for example, the psychomotor has a strong influence into the technical, but not as strong as an influence into the tactical as the coordination ability. So now we're gonna go into the training. So we have, and this is one model we have the 3 stages. You might have 4, you might have 5, but we have the warm-up, and that's where the objective in the warm-up, and I think it's common to everybody, is to get physically ready, and for us is also mentally ready. You do also a lot of technical, repetition, biomechanic, all that. And obviously, whatever you do in the warm-up has to have, I say this is the yellow arrow, has to relate it to the objective of your training session and related to the objective of your small-sided game. Okay, so if I start with I want to, and then we go there, we will have an example on a 1v1. You want to see your attacker beating the defender. Obviously, everything needs to make sense. So your warm-up, gotta prepare your player to go into your next progression of small-sided game, where they are ready to deal with the challenge of 1v1. And then you might have your final game. It might be 4v4 plus 2, crossing the line, scoring, so favoring a lot of 1v1, a lot of dribbling. If you put in shooting, you have the goal, and so on. With that said, okay, what are the time? I will cover that first, and then I go what is the strategy. So you can train those ability either. So you need equipment. If you have a circuit or station, the duration in that should not be too long, 7-8 seconds, very maximum intensity, than 100%, very short there. And you have to have quality of execution, which, you know, there can be some penalty, or if you then you don't like you lose the ball or something like that. If you have in the game format, you have a time duration, so maybe it's more couple minutes or a minute or longer, and then you have to put some kind of a competition because you want to have the intensity, so the score. So this dexterity is a quality that a soccer player must have, which encompasses a motor or a mental task that take advantage of the use of the combination of the ability. Okay. So now I need to go to another. I gotta open up my session planner to go to the training session. So while I do that,
yeah,
I like you guys to reflect when you go on the field or what you have been doing so far in training, and say, what do I do and how to improve a player on awareness of a teammate, of the defender, on when you're dribbling or when you're passing. What do you do for proper touches in relation to the game situation? When I dribble, do I have the defender very close? Do I have the defender far? Or in the receiving, do I have the defender in my back or in the left, and so on? So just to reflect on that while I'm going to that. And David, if you have a question in the meantime, I can do that as well.
Yeah, Belinda asked the question talking about your warm-up. What are your thoughts on doing the warm-up with or without a ball? Is it your preference that a ball is always included?
99.9999%. Yes.
All included.
Ball is preferred all the time. Let me make sure that I have my flash ready. Okay, so we ready, David? Any other question?
That's all for now.
So now, let's say then, again, we have, this is not really what you see here, a progression of a true training session. But I jump down here and I tell you what is my goal is in this exercise. First of all, my objective of this training is a 1v1. I want to see my attacker deal with all different kind of situations beating the defender. So this game that I arrive, which will be my second small-sided game or third small-sided game before the final game, is that when this attacker take off, sorry, I need to move this. Take me a little bit, but I will get there. When this attacker take off, maybe at the coach command here, can be visual or audio, maybe this defender comes, or maybe not. Maybe this one comes, or maybe this one, or this one. The attacker doesn't know. So the defender comes from any different situation, which for me related very much to a game situation. Okay, so this is what I want to prepare my player the best way possible for this situation. So I know that I might have before, depending your player, depending the level of the player, the age of the player. I might have this where every time, number one, he knows that the defender every time, so I train defender coming from the back all the time. Maybe number two, I train all the time the defender comes from this side, or maybe reverse. In here, I might train number three, all the time the defender comes in front. So the attacker knows they comes in front all the time. Here, the defender may be tied in the back. There's another situation. But to be honest with you, this is a good start, and don't get me wrong, it's needed for a methodology from easy to more difficult. But when we go play the game, it's not true. Then we know all the time the defender comes from in front all the time. Or can vary. Maybe it can come even one and then two or more defender, right? So that's what the game is. So let's start from the beginning. I go to my warm-up. I have my player ready. I did a little bit of a juggling. I did a little bit of a psychomotor or their warm-up. And I want to see, very simple and easy, in this exercise here, I will have the player running up in here, maybe making a couple fake here and there, reading what this defender does. So let's say if he goes and bites into this side, then I sprint and cross this gate. So the game is the red player, the attacker, need to cross the gate before the defender touch him in there, or cross before him, either one. Then I can introduce the ball. So getting a little bit closer. So when he does that and he reach here, if he crosses the line, score the point. If not, the defenders become the attacker and score on the other side. So what is required here? Think about it. He comes up here. What does he do? If he has the head down, not very good, huh? So visual, remember at the beginning, receptor, because you need to see to make the decision. And then, if he does this, a nice reaction and quick to go through. Next one, game. How this game works. This player, which we call a defender or shark, the yellow one, a defender. If he hits the ball of the red player, the red player becomes what we call prisoner, like this player here. And obviously their hands is down, but it should be above the head, holding the ball above his head to show that he's a prisoner. How does he get free? By a teammate, another red player, then dribble through the leg, and then this become a free player again. So what? The game, obviously, you can put it 1 minute, 2 minutes. If after 1 minute, all four attackers are still attacking, they have 4 points, whatever you want to put up a score. If the defender, the shark, kill all the attackers, they score 4 points. Or they kill only one, it's a 4-3-1 or 2-2, and so on. You can invent that. But what is important, because that you need to be intense and competitive, what is important that this player here need always to be aware of where the defender is. So space, get away, the right angle that the defender cannot hit the ball, and so on. So remember the game that I added in mind my objective. So I'm going to prepare them for that. And then I leave it up to you if you think I did it. Next one, another example. And then maybe we can move on to, because time is running out, we can move on into a passing or receiving. In here, now, this can be an exercise that a lot of you have done it. You have a line of cones, and you do technical zigzag. It can be also with a little angle, more angle, 45 degrees angle, cones, whatever. But I'm gonna do a little rhythm. So 2 touches left, 2 touches right, 2 touches left, 2 touches right, or I can even do 2 touches right, 1 touch left, 2 touches right, 1 touch left, and so on. Then I can change the space, moving the cone around, and every cone is a touch, or I can say, in the right cone, I want 2 touches. So it goes touch, 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 touch. So between cone to cone. In the yellow cone, only 1 touch. Boom, 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 boom. I can also have, when he's zigzagging, at some point, the coach, either the coach over here, oh, sorry, I want to highlight that, yeah. Either visually raise left hand, boom, you need to sprint. So a little reaction. If you raise this hand, boom, sprint to the right. Or it can give a command, go, or whatever it is. So that's another way that I want to prepare. Here, we can start with 2 players. The 2 players in front enter, starting at the same time. They need to start at the same time. Remember, time. Then they need to go out with an angle. So if this player goes out there, that player goes out there. So what do you require? Awareness of the teammate. Awareness, so heads up, see, where, and go. Now I can do the same with 4 players. Now, 1, 2, 3, 4. Now this player goes out here. This player goes out here. So this gotta go out there. This need to go out there, because they come out with an angle into an open gate. I can even change it, take 1 ball away. Now 4 players goes in, right? With the 4 balls. And then I put a condition. Then they need to change, everyone that has the ball need to find another ball to go out of the gate. So this player that doesn't have the ball, maybe this one, let's say, goes taking this ball. This go here. This go finding this. So 1 player will stay without, so kind of anticipation. So we're gonna make them aware of that. Any question, David?
No questions.
Wow, good. I don't know if it's good or not good, but.
And Paolo, this, just to clarify, we'll send this session plan as a PDF along with other material.
But now I want to stop a second before I go to the next, and I want to pose you a question, and I give you what I think, and then you might agree or disagree. If I do a 1v1 regular, let's say, and 1v1, and in there, I tell and I look at, and I coach in that situation, oh, you know what? You need to push the ball a little longer because you didn't push behind the defender to accelerate a bit. So defender coming in front, and so we're dealing with the touches. Yes, sure. Telling that is an instructor that doing it over and over. The player eventually, maybe he does it once every 10 times, then he does it twice every 10 times. He's getting better and better and better. But if we address that touch before in a warm-up over and over, when you address that, what do you think the player, would he do it and accelerate his learning and reach sooner than just doing it in a situation as the game 1v1? I believe that addressing, like I said earlier, breaking down in isolation, the player will do and reach the objective. So just food for thought. Quickly, in here, I want to develop in the passing and receiving vision 360. Okay. I'm going to address only this for time. So I have a player, it can be over here. So I have two gates, a player in the middle that can move between one gate or another. And we need to hit the ball into the open gate. In this case, this player will pass here. Now, if this stay here, then I pass back. If he moves, I need to take a touch in this direction, and then I pass. To be able to do that, what do I need to do? See in frontal vision. Now, I might do peripheral vision. Passing back and forth. If the defender, one of these blue comes in here, maybe my first touch is away. So I need always to look at which one is coming. If it comes here, then there. That's peripheral. If I want to do back, then I can put the defender in the back. Now, I check my shoulder. The defender is coming on this side, like this. So when the ball comes, my first touch will be there and here, okay? Always add some condition that help the player without you telling them, where they train over and over, repetition and repetition. Now, I go to one example, and then I will cut because of the time into, let's say that I'm introducing a 3v1, and I want the player to understand the triangulation. The player with the ball has two options. And this is my game where I'm focusing that I want to prepare my player. I do 3v1 in one square. Then after number of passes, maybe this player pass the ball to another square. A new defender comes in, creating the 3v1. So when this pass moves, so he has support. Now, this player might be here before, but let's assume that when this pass comes, this player is very aware and move over here. Now, I want I have a player in one square, I have a player in the other square. This player, where does he go? He has to go to the open square. So space, time, interchange, the position, and all that. Okay, how do I prepare this player like this? Okay, so let's go to our warm-up. I will start this. First, focusing on the blue player. The red player inside can do just passing or receiving regular. So this player pass in this, you guys see it? Obviously, this player need to be over here at the time they receive, so we can have the two options as a triangle. Once they get familiar with that, now I combine player A, blue, with player A, red, B with B, C with C. Let's see this now. He made this pass, same. And now he decided to come inside. In the same time they passed that, this player came over here. Correct? So now player B need to be aware to go, and if the ball is still there, that's where you need to go. So be aware of the two. Or if the ball already start traveling this way, then he has to give the support over here. Does that make sense? So in here, we have awareness of teammate. So there is a adapt and transform, because you never know who is coming in. And so awareness of your teammate need to have a vision all the time. Sometimes your teammate is on the side. Sometimes it might be in the back. Sometimes it can be in front. And space and time orientation. So it's a combination of a multiple coordination ability. I wish I could go for more exercises that I was already here, but unfortunately our time is up. And I would like to close the webinar.
Question, Paolo, if you don't mind.
Sure, absolutely.
Out of the coordination exercises, which one would you say is the most important?
They are all important.
Politician answer, very good.
They are all important because they are all, we can call it coordination, but in my eyes are all quality that the player need to develop to play the game at their best potential. So, you know, you need to have a good anticipation as much as you need to have a good touch. You need to have a very good time and space where to move and when to move, as much as you need to know, do I pass, do I dribble, or do I shoot, and so on. So I want to thank everyone for listening. I hope you find it. Sorry, there is any other question, David?
No, someone's just asking again where they can find the exercises. Just to reiterate, we'll send out the video of the presentation itself, and the PDF. And within the presentation, there's a link to our website with a password that will have all the exercises available. So all that will be sent. There is another question that just popped in there. I noticed you haven't put the field dimensions in for each activity. Is this necessary? Or just
say again in English, because I can't quite understand you.
I wonder where they get the Italian and the Scottish person. Okay. Yeah. What one person asking, there's no field dimensions for the activity. Is it necessary to have them, or do you adjust it based on the age and ability?
Correct. You adjust based on age and ability. and distance, space, we know that then is, you can make it more easy or more difficult depending. The rules are, the tighter is the space, the more condition that you put, and the more player that you increase the complexity, and so is increasing the difficulty. When you cut down that, it's becoming easier. So based on your player, I will always recommend start from easy first and then build it up, because you don't want to have a player getting frustrated and don't loving it, because a lot of these things actually, if done properly with the correct time, you don't want to go an hour, you have to do it properly. The right time is 10 minutes, 15 minutes, sometimes maybe a little bit more, sometimes less, but it has to be enjoyable.
Okay, one last question.
Yes.
There was actually a question that came in that I'll answer for you. Juventus or Milan, so I already answered that on your behalf, Paolo.
Okay. So
one more question is
sure.
at what age do you start to introduce the concepts of theta as early as possible in the session, i.e. the warm-up?
The theta?
Yeah, when do you introduce that in the session, in the warm-up or another time?
For me, theta, which I assume and I interpret it as a technical with the technical ability to solve a tactical situation. They're for me, the best environment are into a form of game, small-sided game, 1v1, and so on, 4v2, 5v3, 4v4, whatever it is, 7v7. That's where is the environment. In the warm-up, for me, the objective is I want to get the kids ready as you start introducing your topic to the kids. Okay, today we work on this. Then as you introduce that, you gotta build it up to be ready for the rest of the session. So first, obviously, you start with the physical a little bit, and then has to be introduced. In my opinion, and I believe it's NorCal believe as well, we need to have our player thinking. The brain is an equal muscle to develop as your leg, your lungs, so the only way that we can develop that muscle, which is the brain, is we have to make our player thinking. Give situation, condition, rules where they're forcing to think. Because if you do things, they become automatic or mechanical, then the thinking process is not developing.
Thank you.
Okay. Again, I want to thank everyone for your time. And I want to close with this because we have a very important role with every child that we come across. And we need to really, I believe that we have an obligation to develop them at their best potential that they want to be. Not that we want them to be, but they want to be. And with that role, so that we can help those players. In this case, we can really help them to improve their coordination ability, which also will help them to speed up the learning process and enjoy that even more, this beautiful game. So we really need you guys and girls, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Paolo. And once again, thanks for your attendance. You will be receiving an email tomorrow morning with all the relevant documents. And if for whatever reason it goes into your spam, it will come from Zoom. continue to check our website on the front page under Coach Webinars. All relevant material there is posted.
Yeah, by the way, don't forget the virtual beer. I have my Gatorade here, but that's okay. Virtual beer. Cheer up, guys.
Salut. Grazie, Paolo. Grazie.
Ciao,
Thank you,
ciao.
everyone. Bye.